And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Tuesday, October 31st. We are about to close out October. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down a 3-game NBA slate. Not a lot to talk about today. We got an easy one. Tomorrow's awful. Thursday's easy again. Friday is pretty manageable, but still not fun. That's where we stand. So hit the like button as you get in the door. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Hit my prize picks card yesterday, 2-0 once again. Yeah, that just happened. 4 out of the 5 days we have printed money. So I hope you're watching that on the Odd Shopper channel. I was up at the top late last night, had 2 in the top 20. Very happy with my sim ROIs, which I'm going to show you in a fun little table after we get started. But I got to talk it through. James Harden. In the wee hours of the morning / night, depending on where you live. James Harden is now an LA Clipper. Let's talk it through. Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, all heading to Philadelphia. James Harden, PJ Tucker, and Filip Petrusev heading to the Clippers. Yes. And then a couple random picks and things heading to the Sixers. Unprotected 2028, 2 seconds, a pick swap, and an additional first from a third team that I don't totally understand. I don't know if that's going to be... I don't know what's happening there. Interesting trade for both teams. I like it, I guess, for both teams. I get it if you're the Clippers. Look, James Harden was really, really good last year. Now, this changes the scope of that team a lot. James Harden was worth 11.5 wins in EPM last year. He's a plus 4.7 offensive player, 76 percentile true shooting, 44% assist rate. I like it. When you can consolidate talent, if you can have James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard healthy for the playoffs, that's a consolidation of talent that is really, really high. Do I think they're better than Denver? No, but that's not really the point. The Clippers got way better with this trade. What that means with James Harden in the playoffs, we shall see. I also love it for the Sixers. This was a clearly untenable situation. They're going to come away with it with 2 first-round picks, whatever that ends up looking like, whatever those picks end up looking like. They have cleared their books for next year. They have between $55 and $60 million in salary cap room for next year if they want to go out and try to get somebody, which is interesting. The guys that they brought back are at least like adults in the room, switchable dudes. I'm excited for KJ Martin, anxious to see how he looks for Philadelphia. The rest of those guys, it'll be interesting. They're a move away for sure. The talk is that Philadelphia wants to try to get a guard. So you need to start thinking about what fits alongside Tyrese Maxey. If they go after a guard, one of two things is going to happen. Either that guy is on a relatively small contract so that they still have max cap space next year, or that guy is on a big contract that is expiring. One of those two things. What that ends up being, I don't know. So, circling back to Philip's message, which was Ja Morant to Philly soon, the cap space is available now. The cap space isn't the issue here. They don't have the assets to acquire Ja Morant. There is a 0% chance that the Philadelphia Sixers could acquire Ja Morant. That would require Tyrese Maxey going out. And I don't really think that's solving anything at that point. Yeah, S&P. OG or Levine do seem likely. Anunoby would be the guy that would make more sense to me for sure. I don't think they want to tie up that cap room to Levine. That would be my guess. Unless they think they can get Levine at a cheap... I think the real dude that's going to end up in Philly this year is DeMar DeRozan. I don't think Levine ends up here until after the season. But could. I don't think they would push I don't think Daryl Morey would push his chips in for Zach LaVine on that contract. I think we get DeMar to Philly. I really like it for both teams, though. But the Sixers aren't done. There's another move that comes with this for the Sixers and Morey. That is the actual piece, because their goal is acquiring a third. That's what those picks and everything are for. And that's why they're keeping their powder dry, probably for next year. They're going to thread that needle, though. Yeah, everybody has the assets for DeMar. That's not a problem. But if they think that they can... I don't remember the list. Like, if you can sign someone outright next year and trade for someone now, that's the goal. Oh, S&P. Neither do I. More of a placeholder. DeRozan's on an expiring. Ooh, I almost took a sip of that coffee without even cheersing you guys. Ooh, that was close. Okay, so after that, I don't really have too much else to talk about for the deal. I'm happy it's done, for sure. But yeah, I think the Sixers are going to be on the lookout for a 2 or a 3. Don't be surprised if, like, Tobias Harris went out for comparable longer salary, too. That could be possible. That wouldn't affect next year's cap space, but it would move some stuff around. They could do that with the picks as well. Philip, no, not so much. Although I do like... I like what DeRozan would bring in that scenario. You just have to be able to get him cheap enough. I don't love that pairing. DeRozan, very not good defensively. Very not good. But if they were doing like... Fidel, it's an expiring contract. Everyone will take Tobias Harris right now, immediately. Wouldn't even think twice. It's not even a negative value contract at this point with any, like... The Tobias Harris contract isn't bad anymore. It's not good, but he's basically appropriately paid. Harris is in the final year of the deal, $39.2 million. That's not anything for a guy that plays. Last year he was worth 6 wins. If we want to call him a 6-win player, we're talking like, $25 to $30 million in value. A little overpaid, but you're also getting the wins. He's basically a neutral asset. You could flip him for another contract of that size if you wanted to. Yeah, Harden, man, George, Kawhi, Tucker closing. Like that's real. That's real. Look, is James Harden a great defender? No, but he's sturdy. He can guard fours. Brogdon and Grant going to the Sixers. No shot. 0% chance. No way the Sixers are taking on Jeremy Grant at that number. It would have to be with Tobias Harris going out. The only way that they would take in Grant now is if they were getting if it was a neutral salary play for next season. I like that idea, but you would have to want to turn Grant. You would want to turn Harris into Grant. Even still, because Harris is coming off the books. That's the point of the cap room. I've misspoke here. Harris is coming off the books. That's why they have $60 million in cap room. I would be very surprised if they went to Grant. That's not. Daryl Morey doesn't take half measures. He's got his eye on somebody real. Hate the fit with Siakam. I would be very surprised if it was him. OG Anunoby is probably the guy. We're talking about a premier 3-and-D wing. Like that's exactly what Daryl Morey is looking for. I don't like the Siakam fit alongside of Embiid isn't great. They could have Terry Rozier for a bag of balls if they wanted to. Healed they can get for nothing. Like you guys got to think bigger. This is Daryl Morey. He's not going after garbage. Let's look at the list from last year, and then we'll get started. OG is the likely scenario here. If they didn't have Maxey, I'd say don't rule out Donovan Mitchell, but it's not happening. Markkanen makes sense on paper, but I don't think they could pay the price to the Jazz. Danny Ainge would be asking for more than what Philly could give up. I wish they would have got Drew, but that's neither here nor there. Desmond Bane is not a guy that's going to leave. Trae Young wouldn't make any sense. Beal's already done. I mean, Levine is there. It's just a problematic contract. It's not going to happen, but because this could never happen during the season, but they'd be an incredible Jaylen Brown destination. And I know what everybody's thinking, but someone's leaving the Celtics in the near future. They won't be able to maintain what they have. Jaylen Brown would be an interesting fit. Not the best three-point shooter, but I think that would be the guy that Morey would be looking for. Brandon Ingram, again, I don't know, I don't love the defensive fit, but he'd be the type of guy that I think Morey would take that swing at. I'm getting a little bit too far down the list at this point, I think. I don't think there's too much left. Yeah, I don't really see any other names that immediately jump out at me. I just think OG Anunoby is such a likely scenario. Do I think the Pelicans would give up Ingram? They might not have a choice. Slow-mo? You're in the wrong universe, Philip. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anybody else. Interesting. Anyway, that's going to be it for the Philadelphia and LA Clippers discussion, which means now let's get into DFS. I mean, Miles Bridges would be a great fit, but you might be a bigger headache than Harden. I got a coffee here, guys. I hope you do as well. If you don't, get one. Or if you have a tea, a water, a beer, a joint, a Crunchwrap Supreme, whatever you got going on this morning, let's start off the day correctly. Hit that like button to the 100 people that are here. Cheers to you guys. Rise and grind, everybody. Let's talk basketball. Oh, I hate myself. I hate myself. All right. So I want to show you guys one thing to start the day. I think it's kind of cool. You guys tell me, and we can figure it out from there. But look at this. So what I'm sharing on the screen is the ROI data from Stochastic and from an alternative source that will, in this particular instance, be unnamed. And I grabbed it for last night's fadeaway. So this is everybody that max entered the fadeaway last night. It has our ROI at lock. Or like if you go back to lock, it has the other source's ROI. And then I took an average of them. I ranked them. I notated if both sources are north of 0. So if both are positive, you get a green Y. And then I left actual there for everybody to just see how bad everybody gets destroyed playing 150 unless you win. So Josh Engleman pops in here nicely at the 25 spot, just behind our boy Steve Buzzard. Kind of a bummer. Still trying to run down Tom. Still trying to run down 1-800-EDDIE. But I do think that it looks good to see that both sources are yeses for myself, for Steve, for Tom, for Eddie. Greg is here as well. Just missed out on the double positive. The other source wasn't as big of a fan. Yes, Larry, very wild swing. Shouldn't be all that surprising. You can very clearly see who plays where. I can't even say clearly. You can quickly guess who plays where. That's for sure. So there are some guys that you know are playing at a different site. There are some that you know are playing for us. And you can see the relationship between the two. But I'm very happy. There were 94 150 maxers last night. I'm more than okay with finishing 25th. That's okay with me. Top quarter, close enough. I'm very happy to be a part of positive across both sites. That list looks a little bit different when you shrink it down. So I'm very happy. I basically broke even, down 1%. Like I said, I finished like 22nd and 24th, or 24th and 26th, or something along those lines. But to me, this is the type of evaluation that I want to do each morning. I'm going to go check our stuff. I'm going to check any other sources that I can find. Data's data. I want as much as I can get. And I'm going to evaluate myself against the rest of the people out there so that I know what I'm doing is at the very least neutral. But if not, I'd like to think that, at least for yesterday, I was a positive player. 30-something% Spencer Dinwiddie. Injured. Useless. I had like 50% of Beef Stew. He had like 20-something fantasy points. Still was able to get 5 lineups into the top 150. 5 lineups into the top 1%. Dueling positive ROIs. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm pretty happy here. But, yeah. Shouts to Eddie. Where are we at? Shouts to Tom. Shouts to Steve. Look, shout to Greg. You know, positive in the average. That's where we're at. That's my recap for yesterday. I'm going to try to look at this every morning if I can, so long as everything is up. So, let's remember where that stuff was. The difference in ROI. I can pretty well guarantee that these guys are using the other source exclusively, with no tie whatsoever to anything that we have. That's really the only way that plays out. But that's where we're at, guys. Now let's talk about a 3-gamer. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Subscribe to the channel, notification bell. Actually, you know what? We're going full screen again. Got to do it. Banner, top of the screen. This is very, 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 very important. By the way, the data that I was just looking at, you'll get it with what I'm about to talk about. Promo code is TIPOFF. 20% off any one of our NBA packages. Links are in the description of this video. Go get the Sims tool. Come hang out with us for the next week at 20% off. This deal ends today. Tonight at midnight, it's done. You do not get that discount any longer. Take advantage right now while you can. You get our projections, ownership, boom bust. All of the data on the back end is included. You get our Sims tool. Generate 5,000 lineups in like a minute. Stimulate them against themselves. Get ROI data for players, for lineups. Create a much better package of lineups than you were ever creating before. Check out your pre-lock ROI. This is basically like a slightly improved version of lineup study. The ROI data comes along for the ride. You basically take every lineup that you knew was in that contest and then re-simulate that contest based on that information and the projections you knew. You get to check that out. Late swap tool. Boy, oh boy, does that make late swap super easy. We had so much bullshit happen from 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock. The late swap tool makes it simple. All the projections and ownership gets updated on the site. You upload your CSV from DraftKings, and it handles all the late swaps. If somebody gets ruled out, it will optimize that lineup for ROI with whatever is possibly left for you. It's really hard to have an easier process than what we put together right now. You get it for 20% off using the promo code TIPOFF. Link in the description. It ends tonight, midnight. If you don't get in now, you're never getting in. All right, let's check chat. Yeah, Diesel, I was up there for a bit. I was definitely in first at 10 o'clock, or at least 9:55, and then I shut my phone off, and I woke up this morning. I got a bone to pick with you, DraftKings. You scared the shit out of me this morning. If you leave your phone open on the contest screen, like where it shows every person's lineups, so you see where you're at in the like the standings page. If you leave your phone open to that, and then you go to bed and you wake up 8 hours later, when you open it up, no matter what you won, it doesn't tell you that. It just tells you what you were winning when you shut your phone. So I opened it up and I thought I won $101,000. And then I saw the screen refresh and I saw that I wasn't in first. I had a half-second panic attack at 5:05 a.m. Not fun. DraftKings, make that go away. I did not enjoy that experience in any way. Really hated it. Really hated it. Thought I won. Ultimately didn't. Didn't even win actual money. Down $20. So don't do that. All right, SW. What would be your advice on a night last night, where I was trying to get later games hoping for some news to break, but games like the Nets were dominating the Sims, lower their ROI? Yeah, if that's what you want to do, that's what you would have to do, lower their ROI. That's it. You nailed it. You nailed it. Is Tyler Hero being under-projected this year? Not to me. Did my prize picks play hit? Fidel asks. Didn't have time to check it out. Why, yes, it did, Fidel. It did, in fact, hit. So that means we won again. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. 2-0 on opening night. 2-0 on that Wednesday. We dropped on Thursday because of Joel Embiid, so we went 1-1. 2-0 on Friday, 2-0 on Monday again. Alrighty, guys. Let's break down some basketball now. I had to mention the Sims package. It's going away today. I can't. If you guys aren't getting in, you're crazy. It made my life so much easier yesterday. But for now, let's talk some baloncesto. New York Knicks. I said I was down 20. I played the fadeaway last night, the $15 150 max. Alrighty. Knicks are 3-point favorites in Cleveland, 214 total. This is not a great slate. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that, but this is not the most fun slate we're going to have. It's just kind of gross, if we're being honest. as I look at the injury report, we're going to start on the Knicks side. They don't have any injuries, so this should be relatively easy to handle. We got Randall in for 34 minutes. We got Jalen Brunson in for 34 minutes. We got RJ Barrett in for 34 minutes. Oh, S&P, that's the worst. Mitchell Robinson, probably a 28-20 split with Hardenstein. That seems best, which is what I have in right now. And that kind of just leaves the rest of these guys pretty easily. 24 for Grimes. 4. I got 25 for Quickly. It can happen. DiVincenzo is right around 18 or 19. I got 16. And then Josh Hart in for 21. So let's go ahead and we'll take 2 minutes off of Josh Hart. And I'm going to give those to Dante DiVincenzo. And honestly, that's really it for me. And I don't have too much else I want to change with regards to rates either. Seymour, you just asked, that's the weirdest question I've ever seen asked. You just asked me how to lower something, and you asked me what that thing even is. I don't know how to answer that in any way. I don't know what Ori is. That would have been a better first question. Chat's going to have to help you out on that one. Let's go to Cleveland now. Cleveland is walking wounded here. No Jared Allen, no Darius Garland, no Ty Jerome. Donovan Mitchell is questionable. Still no Ricky Rubio. ROI. Good work, chat. There's a boost button in the Sims tool for ROI. You can boost players. So, in the Sims tool. Appreciate you, chat. No idea what was going on there. All right, so Ty Jerome, definitely not playing. Donovan Mitchell, we obviously have to just assume plays. So, we'll start there. I'm going to cut everybody else out of here. We don't have Jared Allen in. So, let's project this team the way that we know that we need to. Let's look at Cleveland. Einsteinium, I doubt it. ROI is a real thing. ORY is not. That should not autocorrect. It should autocorrect to ROI. All right. So, seems like Max Strus is playing 36 minutes at a minimum. I have a hard time projecting Max Strus for more than 36 minutes today because he's Max Strus. Similarly, I'm going 36 to Donovan Mitchell. I think we're probably going, 35 to Karis LeVert. Mobley in for 33. Dean Wade played massive minutes there. Isaac Okoro played massive minutes. We're going to get Okoro in for 30. We're going to get Dean Wade in for 28, 30, something like that. Niang is going to get 19. I'm guessing he ends up being important in some way. And then we need to think backup center. So they did play Damian Jones and Tristan Thompson. It's been Damian Jones for the most part. I'm going to go 9 minutes to Damian Jones. 5 minutes to Tristan Thompson. Please tell me that that is an autocorrect again, because it is called the Sims tool, not the Seams 2. But I'm going to have too much fun with this. By, like, a lot. Okay, so we don't really have too many minutes left over here. I have 7 minutes for someone random. I don't think it's going to be Bates. With no Ty Jerome, it's going to be someone. I'm going to bet on Sam Merrill here. Maybe it's Monty Bates. I don't think it really matters. So we'll give Sam Merrill 7 minutes. Now, I definitely need to change rates here because Donovan Mitchell is going to have a rate with no Darius Garland around, and it's going to be staggering. So we go to Cleveland. We pull rates. We say, let's just say games that Darius Garland did not play. And we'll also say Jarrett Allen off. What do we get for these guys? It's tough, Larry. It's tough. All right. Now, they only played about 170 minutes with Jarrett Allen off in games that Darius Garland didn't play. In those 127 minutes that Mitchell has played, 36.5% usage rate. Now, I'm going to just switch Garland to off along with Jarrett Allen. Then we get 400 minutes for Donovan Mitchell, 34% usage rate. I think that's where we're going to go for this one. And it looks like Tristan Thompson. I'm guessing I need to give Tristan Thompson a position or a birth date. Let me look at this quickly. I might be able to fix this quickly. I'm guessing I don't have Tristan Thompson with a position. Tristan Thompson. I do not. Dang. Okay. Let me update my projection table quickly. Boom. EPS exported successfully. That should add Tristan Thompson. Perfect. And now Tristan Thompson has a usage rate. Yay. Easy. All right. 34% usage to Donovan Mitchell. Karis LeVert has a 22% usage in this scenario. Evan Mobley is at 23. So I'm going to lock LeVert into 22. We're going to lock Evan Mobley into 22 as well. And then I don't think that I need to really change anybody else. Actually, Max Strus has played 93 minutes. He's got a 20% usage rate. I'm willing to bump Strus up a little bit, lock him in at like 18. That's a slightly different Strus. We need assist rates, though, for this, too, because that definitely changes this team up. Pretty sizable assist bump for LeVert. Donovan Mitchell doesn't really move too much. Mobley doesn't really move much. And then Strus, clearly not that kind of guy. I don't have anything to move there. Final thing to look at is going to be rebounding rate. That'll be very relevant for Evan Mobley. And then for Mobley, it does not move his defensive rebounding rate at all. Or his offensive rebounding rate, for that matter. Donovan Mitchell rebounds a little bit less. I'm guessing no one's surprised to hear that. Karis LeVert, no real changes. Dean Wade, no real changes. This isn't really going to affect anybody. So I think we're done this game. All right. So as we look at it, let's start on the Cleveland side. Actually, I got to make one tweak here. Perfect. Okay, so LeVert, Wade, Mitchell, Strus, they're the priority guys to look at. Donovan Mitchell's 9,700 on DraftKings. He's 10,600 on FanDuel. I've got Mitchell projected for 1.34 fantasy points per minute, 29 real points. Let's take a look and see what that prop looks like for Mitchell. By the way, 704. I'm going to assume we're not at the 100 like mark yet. So if you haven't hit that button yet, you've got a chance before I get there to actually check the total. So we're heading on over to the live feed. The number of likes is currently sitting at 59. You jokers. I know it's a Tuesday with 3 games, guys, but that's just disrespectful. Pure disrespect. All right. Points prop for Donovan Mitchell right now is 31.5, juiced to the under. I'm okay with 29 for right now. I think that works. Kenny, I hit it all at the top of the show. I think they both won. I think it's a win-win trade. All right, so Mitchell at 29. Evan Mobley's points prop is sitting at 16.5. I got 16.7. That works. Those are the only 2 Cleveland guys that exist on here right now. Mitchell has a 6.5 assist prop shaded to the under. I got him at 5.5, so I feel okay there. Rebounds for Mobley, 12.5 to the under. Okay, I have him at 9. Interesting. I don't see anything that I would want to change. I would like the under to that points prop right now. Just because this game has a 214 total. It's just a game that I don't expect a lot of missed shots for. Now, if we're looking for value here, $3,500 George Niang will get some love today. $4,500 Isaac Okoro will certainly be a popular option because of that price and because of his position. Because of LeVert, 6,100 shooting guard small forward, that's incredible flexibility. But I'm guessing Dean Wade is the most popular guy from Cleveland today. $3,600 power forward. Assuming he's starting, is he a fun dude to roster? No. But his price tag won't match what you need. And if you need to get to any sort of pay up options, I mean, like Dean Wade will just naturally help you get Donovan Mitchell. They play completely opposite positions, and you're getting him for the $3,600 price. Now, let's look at the Knicks side. All right, for the Knicks, I like RJ Barrett. I like Isaiah Hartenstein as a backup center, 3,500. He'll be very popular today, I think. Mitchell Robinson will look okay for 5,100. I probably like Randall a little bit more than I like Brunson, but the position themselves, like that might change it. It might be, to me, it just might be easier to get to Randall power forward center than Brunson just point guard. I do think Brunson is like a better GPP play probably, but ownership will tell a story. Like I have Brunson 14% to 7x. I only have Randall at 5%. He doesn't have those like outlier games. I don't have a ton of interest in like Quickly or Grimes. Grimes would be the guy, but 0.68 fantasy points per minute is the projection. 0.49 is where he's been this year. So that's not a great number. You kind of just like, other than DiVincenzo, who I guess is still in play, shooting guard small forward 3,600. The entire Knicks rotation, like all 9 of those guys are very in play today. That's what this slate looks like. Sean, never. Literally never. I would never do that. I guess one caveat. If a guy is like questionable and I'm leaning him to not play, but I don't think that's really the question you're asking me. Obviously, if I think someone isn't going to play in a basketball game, I shouldn't put them in my player pool. But I would never remove somebody. All right, San Antonio Spurs. We're on to game number 2. They are 7-point dogs in Phoenix. 226 total. On the San Antonio side, everybody that should be available is available. So that's a good start. Don't think I'm going to have too much to change here for minutes. But take a look at it anyway. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to duplicate this window for a second. Bingo. That doesn't affect you guys at all. And now I could look at this minutes table without having to bounce back and forth to it. That'll help. That'll help a bunch. Okay. So now let's project out the San Antonio rotation. Not a fun team to project, that's for sure. 30 minutes for Zach Collins feels about right. 28 for Wemby feels about right. Charles Bassey, backup center, 13 feels about right. 30 for Sohan? Might be a tad high. Break him down to 28. 32 for Keldon Johnson. Seems right. Vassell in for 34. Seems right. 20 to Chetty. I can handle. 18 to Malachi Branham. Good. 24 to Trey Jones. Good. 11 to Doug McDermott. McDermott gets the extra 2 minutes. That's going to be San Antonio. Not much going on here. This is an ugly team that's going to get blown out a lot. Could get blown out today. Then we go to Phoenix. Super chat from Radam, R-A-D-M, says, hey, I don't live in the U.S., so I can't play on DraftKings. When I play, salaries are different. Is it possible to edit the salaries with your tool? So the Sims tool and our lineup generator, those things aren't going to work for you, but our data will still be fine for you. So you'd be able to take the projections if they matched like a DraftKings or FanDuel or other source. We have the full stat line as well. So you'd be able to use the data on the site, but you wouldn't be able to use the tools. All right, let's go to Phoenix. Phoenix Suns. This team could be dumb tonight, so keep your eye on it. Bradley Beal out. Damian Lee out. Devin Booker doubtful. So I think we can just go about it the same way with no Beal, no Booker. Which we've seen twice now. I am going to scratch this entire rotation and start over just to make it easy. So we're going to get Yusuf Nurkic in at center. Nurk playing probably like 27, 28 minutes. Seems about right. And then Drew Eubanks mostly playing backup. They split 45 minutes in their second game, 42 in the third game. Who did they play in that game? They beat Utah by 22, so no one closed. So yeah, I think we can go 28-19 to Eubanks. Matt Billett, no tears. I don't have any of that prepped. All right, we're going to get Eric Gordon at the point. I guess we should get Durant in for 35. Let's get Eric Gordon in at the point, playing 30 minutes. And then we need to get Grayson Allen. He played 34 and 30. I mean, I think we got to look at like 33 for Grayson Allen. Okogie didn't play the fourth. Didn't really have to. Could close. I don't know, 29, 30 for Josh Okogie. Let's go 30. We might have some extra minutes laying around here when we're done, which is more than okay. All right, Jordan Goodwin played 30 on the 26th, 25 in their most recent game. He was the second guy off the bench behind Eubanks. Played pretty standard bench run. I think Jordan Goodwin for like 25 makes some sense. Watanabe is playing about 18 minutes a night. And Nas Little played like 16 minutes. He didn't play closing run. So I'm going to go 17 to Nas Little. That leaves me 5 extra minutes that I'm just going to hide on, I don't know, 2 to Saban Lee, 3 to Udoka Azubuike, just to hide him. I Think I'm okay with the rates that are in right now, but I will take a quick look at what Phoenix looks like. And I'm just going to say Devin Booker off just this year, just to see what everybody has done. Gangrene, thanks for being here. We're up to 193 people. Are we up to 100 likes yet? 91. Okay, 9 more and I'll shut up about it. All right, so 78 minutes so far with Booker off. 36% usage rate for Durant. I'm just going to bump that right now. Nurk is at 18. I will keep his 21. Eric Gordon is at 23. I will bump him to 21. Jordan Goodwin is at 24. I'll lock him in at 23. That'll probably cover everybody. Assist rate, I don't really have to mess with. We're going to take Goodwin down a notch. Eric Gordon didn't get the bump you would expect. Anything interesting rebound-wise for these guys? Not really. All right, so that's going to be Phoenix. Let's look at game 2. Game numero dos. All right, Phoenix Suns. For Phoenix. Wow, lots of dudes that look very, very similar. You've got Okogie, 4,200, small forward eligible. You've got Jordan Goodwin, 4,900, point guard only. Now, he's like a fantasy point per minute guy. Grayson Allen's got the $4,600 MPE, but he's a 0.7 guy. Eric Gordon's got the $5,200 MPE. He's a little bit better than Grayson Allen on a per minute basis. Durant is 10.5. Hard to not like Durant more than Donovan Mitchell, but let's look at the points props for Durant. Maybe I just have him over projected a bit. I got him at 34.5 real points. He is got a points prop of 31.5. So I am higher on Durant. I'll take one notch of his usage away. I'll take him down to 35. That puts my points prop at 33.9. I don't ever mind being like a basket over to start the day. Nurk at 14. His points prop's at 13.5. I feel fine there. Eric Gordon, points prop is 16.5. I have 15.5. Grayson Allen's 11.5, which is where I have him. Josh Okogie is at 9.5, which is where I have him. And that's it for Suns points. So I don't have too much to say here. I like Durant quite a bit. I feel like power forward would be a better position to get than Donovan Mitchell, but we'll see what that ends up looking like when we run crunches. This will all come down to Sims. I'm hoping I get both of them. There actually seems like enough value that you could pretty easily get both of them. There's a lot of 3K dudes. Like Drew Eubanks is fine. He's going to look a lot like Isaiah Hartenstein. So like finding that guy is going to be interesting today. I mean, it's hard to not like Phoenix in a matchup against San Antonio. Speaking of San Antonio, we have not a lot to like, but it's sort of a scattered like. Zach Collins for 6,300 stands out, but again, center only. Kelvin Johnson, $6,400 small forward. Probably have his usage a little too high. I have him at 18.5. The prop is 15.5. Little juice to the over, but I'm gonna steal a percentage point of Kelvin Johnson's usage. Wemby's points prop is at 15.5. I got him at 14.7. I'm actually going to give him a quarter bump. Vassell, I have at 16. His is at 17.5. Juice to the under. That feels good. Zach Collins is at 11.5. I got him at 13.8. I might be over projecting Zach Collins scoring a little bit. We'll deal with that at a later date. I would say my favorite San Antonio Spur, it's probably Sohan. Ignoring the Zach Collins center stuff, just because Sohan is point guard small forward, the Spurs team is just filled with non-MPEs. Vassell just shooting guard. McDermott just small forward. Keldon Johnson just small forward. Malachi Branham just shooting guard. Trey Jones just point guard. There's not a lot of It's going to be hard to get to the Spurs today because of their positionality. Let's close out this final game. Orlando Magic on a back-to-back. Today taking on the Clippers. Yesterday they took on the Lakers. We don't know anything about Orlando right now. They did not and do not have to submit an injury report until 3:30 today. So I am just leaving the exact same rotation in my sheet for Orlando. I'm going to take one look at their minutes from yesterday. Franz played 36. I have him in for 34. Paolo played 30. Wendell Carter Jr. played 35. Fultz played 33. Suggs got 26. Anthony and Gary Harris both played low 20s. We got a little bit less out of Ingles and Isaac, so I'm going to take a minute away from both of those guys. I'm going to get Gary Harris up to 19. John Isaac is probably not playing today. There's basically no chance he's going to play a back-to-back. I would be shocked. So his 13 minutes will probably go to like Caleb Houston, or maybe they start one of the rookies like Jet, or not start, but like play Jet Howard or Anthony Black, or they still have Chuma Okeke dancing around these parts. So I wouldn't be surprised if Isaac ends up not playing. I just don't know who their next guy up is going to be. They haven't played anybody else yet. Houston, Howard, Black, Okeke all played in their garbage run on opening night, but no one else has played since then. I feel like I want to take those minutes now. I just don't know where they're going to go. So they kind of got to go to a 3 or a 4, I'm guessing. I guess it doesn't have to. Jet Howard 6'6". Anthony Black. Maybe they go to Anthony Black. I don't want to project it, though. I'm going to leave Isaac in until we get the news. And then we go to the Clippers. Oh, shit. I didn't even think about this. I didn't even think about the fact that the Clippers have traded half their team. All right. Okay, so we got to get rid of Kenny Martin Jr. goes to Philly. Marcus Morris goes to Philly. Nick Batum goes to Philly. Robert Covington goes to Philly. I totally forgot about that. It didn't even cross my mind. Okay. At least they didn't play yesterday. Terrence Mann is out. Norm Powell is questionable. Ivica Zubac is questionable. Brandon Boston is out. Okay. Let's think this through. We're going to get 48 minutes out of Ivica Zubac and Mason Plumlee. I don't really see any situation where that's not happening, because they got rid of all the other dudes that do that job. So Zubac played 22. Mason Plumlee played 21 in their last game. They basically split on the opener. I think we get... I'm going 28-20. For right now, I don't... We'll find out what else they have, I guess. Because I don't really know what's even active for this team. Danny P, thanks for being here. Did we cross that 100 mark yet for the 192 people that are here? We did. Good deal. All right, so Russ is obviously going to play massive minutes today. I think we can pretty safely say 34. And then I'm going to go 34 to Paul George and Kawhi for right now. So then, who's going to be the fifth starter? Who's going to start? Zubac, Kawhi, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Norm Powell obviously going to start. I guess Norm Powell's going to play 30 minutes today. Right? Like that just happens. Bones has been playing like 22 minutes a night. That probably holds. And then we're into guys that haven't played yet this year. The other 38 minutes are going to go to dudes I don't know. So it's going to be Amir Coffey, Kobe Brown. Is Josh Primo ready? Is he available? Oh, if they would have played the Spurs, it would have been hilarious. Coffey, Brown. That's it. They've got Diabate, Musa Diabate, Jordan Miller, and Josh Primo all on two ways. So in theory, all three of those guys can play. I'm going to assume Kobe Brown plays 14 minutes. Coffee probably plays like 18. That leaves me 6. I'm going to hide those on... I don't think they'll go to Josh Primo. I'll hide them on Musa Diabate for right now. Rates, as weird as it sounds, rates aren't going to change all that much because the main guys didn't go anywhere. So I'm just going to grab the Clippers from this year and last year. We're going to say games that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard both played. And we'll get an idea of where these guys stand. And that S&P, and that one way is leaving his dinger out of his shorts. All right, Paul George in games where Kawhi also played last season had a nice 28% usage rate. Kawhi had one at 26.5. Yeah, Josh Primo is still suspended. One more game. All right. Norm Powell, when those guys have both played, still has a 25% usage rate. I'm going to lock that in. Russ, when those guys have played, 21% usage rate. Only other guy that I need to force all usage rate to is going to be Bones Highland. Bones in 124 minutes, 26% usage rate. Definitely not doing that. Everybody else is going to just take a giant haircut. I feel like I could probably bring these guys down a hair. All right, so that's going to be the Clippers. Now, we'll make some adjustments to usage rates once we look at the props, which is right now. Points props for the Clippers, if they exist. Although I'm sure they do. Okay, so Norm Powell for 4,400 is probably the most popular play on today's slate. Point guard, shooting guard eligibility. It seems to me that he's going to have to start and play a bunch of minutes. So I really like Norm Powell. He does not have a points prop right now, which is pretty annoying. Paul George, I have at 22, and his points prop is 27. I have Kawhi at 23. His points prop is 23. So it sounds like I need to give Paul George some more usage here. I got him up to 23. I don't know how to get Paul George up to like 26.5. That's a lot. But shooting guard, small forward, he's going to look really good. Russ is at 12.5. I'm a little high there, but I can handle that. We don't have anybody else with a points prop for the Clippers, which is kind of frustrating. Do we have a... Oh, wait, we do have Zubats, actually. Zubats is at 13.5, juice to the under. I have him at 8. That's not going to cut it. So we're going to need to lock his usage rate in a little bit higher. Maybe a 14. Yeah, that makes it a little bit more viable. Actually, what I'm going to do now is nothing else, actually. That works for me. Plumlee. Yeah, I gotta sort of bump all of these dudes until I get to the negatives. Let's get Plumlee up to like 13. And 13? Nope. 12? We'll go 13. And then a giant negative score for Moussa Diabate. That's fine. All right, I'm pretty comfortable with where I have the Clippers right now. Rebounds for Zubats will play a role. 8.5 to the over. I got it at 8.6. That works. Russ is at 5.5. Okay, I feel good about the Clippers side. Let's look at Orlando quickly, and then we can get out of here. We got to remember, these props work, but we don't have an injury report. Franz, 18.5. Got him at 17.7. Great. Suggs, 9.5. Got him at 10.5. Great. Fultz, 12.5. Under. Perfect. Wendell Carter Jr., 9.5 over. I got him juiced a little bit more, but I only have him at 0.94 fantasy points per minute, so I'm cool with that. Banchero, 17.5 to the under. I got it at 18. I am good with Orlando. We made it through 3 games in an hour, but I had to do 20 minutes on James Harden. So let's run some crunches, folks. Thank you guys for being here. Hit that like button. Easy day. Contenders, strategy show, deeper dive later tonight, all that good stuff. You won't miss it because it's great content. Adam with me for everything again today, so should be a good one. Let's get this shared for you guys. Boom. Alrighty. The old optimal lineups. Ruh-roh. What did I do? Okay, there we go. What the fuck? Why are you doing that? Pivot table, that's dumb. Data, maintain. Oh, it's so fucking stupid. Deselect all. Who are the games today? San Antonio, Phoenix, Orlando, and then New York. Got it. All right, let's grab the projections. Pop these bad boys in, and let's find out what the optimal lineup is. Prize Picks video, best I can say is just like whenever they get more shit posted. They were really slow yesterday. Probably around noon. That would be my guess. All right, here we go. Optimals on DraftKings. Jordan Goodwin, Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert, Dean Wade, Mitchell Robinson, Norm Powell, Kevin Durant, Wendell Carter Jr. 267.1. It's the optimal by 0.1. Durant made all 5. Norm Powell made all 5. LeVert made all 5. Donovan Mitchell made all 5. So you can go Durant, Mitchell very easily. So those guys are going to be very heavily owned. Let's see. If I did 50 lineups. Durant, Norm Powell, Karis LeVert in all 50. Donovan Mitchell in 44. Then we drop down. Mitchell Robinson in at 26. So Durant, Powell, LeVert, Mitchell is your pretty well core. Like that's your core today. All right, let's look and see what happens when we add 100% randomness. How does it stabilize? We know what we're going to see at the top, but how does it actually look? We have Norm Powell, Kevin Durant, Karis LeVert, Donovan Mitchell. RJ Barrett climbs quite a bit there. I think that flexibility really helps. With him being shooting guard, small forward, power forward, it really just allows him to be a little bit more flexible on a slate like this. So I'm not surprised to see him jump. Then you get Mitchell Robinson, Dean Wade, Goodwin, Okogie, Randall. Interesting teams today. But yeah, I think Norm Powell is going to end up being that guy if you're assuming he plays 30 minutes. Let's take a look at FanDuel now. I got to grab FanDuel projections because for some reason I took them out of my table. That was stupid. Where are you hiding? FanDuel. Gotcha. Why would I want a count of that? Just obviously want that to be a sum. You suck at this sometimes, Microsoft Excel. All right. FanDuel upload happening now. Optimal lineups on FanDuel for tonight. 290.25. Optimal by 6.62. Markelle Fultz, Jordan Goodwin, Grayson Allen, Karis LeVert, Paolo Banchero, Kevin Durant, Zach Collins, Evan Mobley, and Mitchell Robinson. If I ran 50 lineups, only Durant is in all 50. Fultz and Jordan Goodwin are both in 48. LeVert and Grayson Allen are both 43 and 41. And then it falls off into the 30s and then 20s pretty quickly. For those looking for Donovan Mitchell, he is 10,600 and just not as good of a play as Kevin Durant, in my opinion. So he's getting pinched. Final run with randomness for FanDuel. What do we got? Karis LeVert at the top of the heap. Kevin Durant, a close second. Markelle Fultz, a close third. Zach Collins, Grayson Allen, Jordan Goodwin. RJ Barrett, Evan Mobley, Paolo Banchero, and Jalen Suggs. Norm Powell, 5,500 on FanDuel. Very different play there. So it's a tale of two different slates and sites for today. But 3 games. Tip-off is at 7:30 tonight. So deeper dive will be at 5:30. Live before lock will be at 6:30. Strategy show with myself and Adam at 10. I'll have contenders out before the strategy show for sure. Prize picks, I'm just sort of at the mercy of when they post some of the props. I like the fantasy score props, so that's what I'm looking for. They didn't post those till pretty late yesterday. Sign up for tip-off, link in the description. Last day that you can get a 20% off code for our NBA Sims package. That's it, everybody. Process back tomorrow. We're going 2 hours. I think there's 13 games. Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games tomorrow. So we're going 2 hours. Bring your coffee. Bring your like button presses, everybody. We're going for a big one. Enjoy your day. Win some money. This was The Process.